Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over my favorite book from every month. Let's get into it. We're starting off strong with January. January, I actually had two books because I could not figure it out. Those two books are Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, which I read for the first time in January. The second book is A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer Armentrout. They tied, absolutely tied. I could not decide. They're both incredible romantasy books. They're both the start of a series. Both of them were ones where it was my first time reading that series, and they both absolutely blew me away. Let's start with Fourth Wing. I feel like at this point, pretty much everyone knows Fourth Wing. Pretty much everyone has read Fourth Wing. I absolutely loved it. I was really worried going into it that it wouldn't live up to the hype because I was reading it at a time when book one, book two, and I believe book three was just about to come out. So often people hype up the books and they sort of get overhyped and it just doesn't live up to it. And Fourth Wing did not have that problem. It turns out some ways I am 100% a generic fantasy girly and I will read and enjoy all of the popular books. And you know what? I'm not mad about that. The way that the world building was done felt very integrated for me. I'm reading the book for the plot. This book is, honestly, this series is a little predictable. But you know what? I'm reading it for a good time. For me, that's not a make or break. Violet is a stubborn and realistic main character, which I love. I love the disability representation, but I just love that she's relatable. She's not a character that wakes up one day, finds out she is in the writer's quadrant, and suddenly she's super good at everything. This is one of those books where she's learning, she's struggling, and she's not good at everything. Violet is also someone who stands up for her morals, stands up for her friends, and she sticks to that. And I love that. I am a sucker for good friendships in books. Fourth Wing has some really solid friendships. My other choice for January is A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer Armentrout. And this is my second series that I'm reading by her. I love her writing. Admittedly, I don't love this series as much as I loved her other one, but I think that's because they're so integrated. This book answers a lot of questions that I had reading the other series. Personally, I love that. I thought it was super cool to kind of have that backstory and kind of have a little bit of insight. So when I was reading this one, I kind of know what's going on and I'm getting some answers to questions that I previously had. And I just love that. The dynamics between the main characters are electrifying. I absolutely love their dynamics. They are spicy with each other. They push back on each other. They're sassy. So fun to read. I especially love the way that you can see their relationship kind of sharpen, but also soften as they interact with each other, as they build that level of trust, and the way that their dynamics change as they get to know each other, trust each other, and really become a good partnership. And so for all of those reasons, these two are tied for January. So for February, my favorite book was Quicksilver by Callie Hart. And this was not even close. This book almost made me miss my flight. And quite honestly, I have no regrets about it. I absolutely devoured this book. I read it while flying to Florida to visit a friend, and I was reading this book so hard in the airport that I was not paying attention to anything, almost missed them calling my flight. Don't worry, I did make it. This book had me wanting to ignore literally everyone and everything that was going on to read it. And honestly, if that is not the sign of a good book, I don't know what is. The writing in this book is so beautifully descriptive, and I really felt like I was there, which I thought was so well done. Saris is my favorite kind of MC, which is stabby, sassy, and she has thoughts. She's stubborn. I absolutely adore that kind of main character. She's a take no character. And yes, she wants the man. She's not taking his either. Can I swear on YouTube? I might need to edit that out. I also loved just her disbelief at everything that she's getting dragged into. The entire time she is just like, is this real life? Are you serious? You're joking, right? And I just think it is hilarious. Kingfisher is a wonderfully complex character with way more bonds than should be healthy for any one person, if we're being honest. I also 100% there were moments I wanted to smack him upside the head. With that said, his grumpy character is very endearing, and especially as the layers started to peel away, I found myself kind of having a soft spot for him and just really enjoying him as a character. I found the side characters to be absolutely hilarious, great addition to the story. Carrie and Swift, anyone? I especially loved the way that their levels of importance changed throughout. So characters that were side characters kind of integrated themselves in further and became more important. The story itself is a classic lovers battle tale. The complexity of the bonds and the alchemy aspect, I think, made it unique enough and different enough that I still really enjoyed it, and I think it still stands out. I definitely did not expect the fallout of the ending either, which I love a good jaw drop ending. March was Happy Place by Emily Henry. Oh boy, this book had me sitting on my couch, teary-eyed at the end, just sitting in emotions and letting the book sink in. And with that said, I don't really cry from books. I'm not a crier. This book had me teary. Emily Henry has a way of just really getting into the feels, really making you feel emotions, get strongly invested in the book. And oh my God, I need to read all of her writings now. This book, for me, is all about home. This is about your happy place. It's about finding your happy place, the place that brings you joy, the place that brings you comfort, the place that you want to go back and visit. It's about friends that turn into family. It's about finding a partner that brings you long-term happiness and you want to spend your life with, and a partner who wants happiness for you. So yeah, it made me cry. I think it might be because, similar to Harriet, my happy place has always been a vacation home. It's been surrounded by people I love, surrounded by family, and getting to spend good quality time with those people. It's about finding joy and happiness and comfort with the people you love wherever you are. This book feels so relatable to me. This book feels like home. It feels like feelings that all of us have had, we've all gone through, we've all worked through. It feels familiar, and the writing just sweeps you away the moment you get into it. When I was reading this book, I was emotionally invested. Like, these were my best friends. This was my fiance, and I was here for it. I wanted to be in the story. I was emotionally devastated. My heart was breaking along with everyone else's as this went on. Absolutely incredible. My favorite read of the month. My favorite book for April was Metal Slinger. And if you do not yet know how obsessed I am with this book, welcome. You're about to hear. This book destroyed me. My feelings about this book, I think, are best summed up by a message I sent to the author after finishing it, which is, how dare you write a book this good? This book destroyed me, and I loved every single minute of it. The writing, incredible. The characters had me emotionally invested. The spice and teasing lines, raw. Next question. The plot, easy to follow, intriguing, unique, and that's before it gets all tossed out the window, and that is a compliment. The ending will make you second guess everything that you read, want to reread the entire book, throw your Kindle at the wall, and send a million messages to the author crying, which is the best compliment I can give about the ending of a book. I am so excited for book 2 to come out. But this book had me screaming. It had me ranting. It had me guessing and on my toes, following threads, finding Easter eggs, trying to get a sense of what's happening next. And I got a decent number of them, and still absolutely was destroyed by the chapter. If you know, you know. If you don't know, no spoilers here. If you like romantasy, a dash of spice, bits of magic, and some incredible twists and Easter eggs, this is the book for you. You should go read it. My favorite book for May was 50/50 by Cavanagh. And oh my God, now this is a thriller. I absolutely loved this book. The perspective shifts within this had me questioning everything constantly. The premise of the book is you're following two sisters who are on trial for their father's murder. You're also following the detective and lawyer who are investigating the trial, and you have the POV of the killer. And the best part about that is you're trying to figure out which sister did it, but the POV keeps giving you little hints and tips and little breadcrumbs to follow, but every chapter makes you think it's a different sister. And I absolutely loved it. I spent the entire book trying to figure out which one it was, and every chapter, my opinion changed. I just loved that it wasn't a book all about finding the killer and investigating this murder, but rather it's a POV where you're kind of hearing from everyone, and it adds this extra layer of complexity that I absolutely adored in this book. The slow reveal of information and the way that they kind of piece together the story here made it feel like through the book and while you're reading, pieces are slowly sliding into place. You're slowly getting context. You're kind of figuring things out as the jury is figuring things out, as the detective and the lawyers are figuring things out, but you're never quite sure still if you have all the information or if that information is accurate. This book kept me second guessing right up until the last page. I was never convinced, never sold, and the instant I thought I figured it out, a new piece of evidence came to light that had me second guessing everything. The murderer in this book easily could have been either of them, and the book makes sure that you know that. This was a well-written and captivating story that had me invested from start to finish. Highly recommend if you're looking for a good thriller. June was another month where I had two absolutely incredible reads, and I simply could not pick a favorite. Those two reads were Burning God by R.F. Kuang and The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Totally different books, but equally as incredible. Let's start with The Night and the Moth. This book is gothic, it's got some fantasy, it's got a little bit of romance, and I absolutely loved it. It was my first book that I've read by her, and I am now going to read the rest of her books because her writing has me immersed. Absolutely love it. This was another book series that had a lot of hype behind it. And in my opinion, it not only lived up to it, but it blew right past it. The world building was detailed, it was elaborate, but it also felt digestible. It felt like I was there and I could totally see what was going on while I was reading. The magic system was well thought out, creative, unique, and a very interesting twist on sacred objects and a magic spring, which I really enjoyed. I love a good, unique magic system, and I really like when the authors think through this unique system, really put it into play, and make it important. The writing was absolutely impeccable, drew me right in, and refused to let me go. The characters I found to be lively, vibrant, varied, which I think was a lot of fun, but more importantly, real. They felt relatable. They felt like people I could know, people I could be friends with. They felt realistic to me. And the romance was a slow burn. I love the teasing, the taunting, the will they, won't they, and this book delivered it in spades. This ending had me done. I will say though, I know this is going to be a duology. I'm very excited for the next book, but I do sort of feel like it could have ended there. Do I want more information? Yes, obviously. I liked the characters, I liked the world. I'm curious about where this story is going to go, but part of me wishes that she had just ended it there, that we didn't know. We were left wondering, we were left with questions. Part of me really loves that. My other book that took the top spot for June was The Burning God by R.F. Kuang, and I will never be the same after reading this series. This series emotionally destroyed me, and I'm never going to recover. If you have not read this series, please do. This book, this series, destroys. It destroys characters, it destroys worlds, it destroys your emotions. It is destructive, and I absolutely loved it. This whole book had me trying to figure out how it ends. It's the last book in a trilogy. How do you end this series? Where does it go? As a whole nation is pulled apart and shattered, who wins? How do you put this nation back together? How do you win this? Like, in what situation does this end well? And the answers to all of those broke me, because of course they did, right? If there is anything R.F. Kuang does well, it is destroy you. This book took me out. There are no winners in war. We know this. In books, so often we expect a happy ending. We expect the hero of the book to, overcome all the odds and succeed in what they're trying to do. We expect the world to end in a better place, for there to be a positive energy. We expect to leave the book feeling good. And this book doesn't give you that. But I loved it for it. It felt right. The way that the book ending fits the series. It fits all of the moral dilemmas that you're grappling with in this series. It fits the writing style, and honestly, it fits the characters. But I am trying to keep this spoiler free for people who have not read it. I will just say that I cannot remember the last time I was so thoroughly emotionally destroyed by a book. This book lingered with me. My favorite book of July was The First Hunt by Audrey J. Cole. My reaction after finishing this book, and I will censor it because this is YouTube, so we're keeping it appropriate, is what the did I just read? And that's a compliment. My jaw was literally dropped at the ending of this book. This book is a thriller, and it's based off of true events of a serial killer. And in this book, you're following an investigative reporter, and it does not go where you think it's going to go. I absolutely loved the multiple POVs in this one. This book started out pretty typical, right? You had a murderer, a serial killer, an investigative journalist. But then as the separate pieces and the separate points of view start lining up, I was flabbergasted and I loved it. I love the multiple POVs. Watching this kid grow up with watching his dad kill, this POV of a girl getting picked up at a bus stop, a journalist investigating her sister's death while also dealing with an abusive ex. They're all interesting threads. They're all views that don't seem to go together, but I love the way that they end up weaving and revealing some new information. The character arcs in this book are incredible. The growth that you see throughout the characters is just so well written, and in some ways unexpected. My opinions on all of the characters shifted as I was reading. In something like this, like a thriller, you don't expect that. You don't expect to be so emotionally invested and to get that much of a shift in the people that you're reading about while investigating. And the ending, again, no spoilers here, but had me shook. I did not see any of that coming. It makes me want to go back and reread just to see what I missed, to reread all of these stories with that background context of knowing what's going to happen and just pull out those pieces, because I know that I must have missed things, and it was so good for it. This book had me absolutely immersed. I did not want to turn it off. I did not want to put it down. I did dishes. I was walking my dog. I listened to it at work. I was making up reasons to do things that required putting headphones in just to finish this book. Highly recommend. This is a super unique and well done thriller. My favorite read of August was Beach Read by Emily Henry. Yes, I know, another Emily Henry on the list. What can I say? I love a good romance, and I love the way that Emily Henry writes them. This one, again, just made me a little teary. It might have passed Funny Story as my favorite Emily Henry book. The two main characters in this one are just so full of life. They're quirky, they're fun, they just feel so unique and real. A lot of times in romance, I feel like the characters just feel like stereotypes of what you expect a romance character to be. And in this one, it didn't feel like that. The two characters were cute separately, but watching them together and getting their interactions was just adorable. And how their boundaries kind of fell as they interacted and spent more time with each other and grew to trust the other. The note writing alone had me cooing over this book. I absolutely loved that they were writing notes and passing them through the window to each other. So cute. Oh my God. That's all I needed from this book. I also love the idea of a happy for now. Sometimes it's okay to appreciate the little moments, the happiness now, the contentedness now. And I feel like a lot of times in romance, we think of like a long-term love. We think of a long-term ending. And this one very much felt like they were happy with the point they were at now, and that's okay. I think it's a really nice idea to wrap it up like that, to not promise an everlasting love, but one that was perfect right now, and one that was what they needed right now, and one that they're happy with right now. My favorite book for September was A Spell to Wake the Dead by Nicole Lesperance. This book had chills all over my body. When I finished this, it was nighttime. I lived by the beach, and I was a little uncomfortable and worried. I love a good book that feels too close for comfort. I love a thriller that just sends shivers up your spine and kind of has you looking over your shoulder for a minute. Get me emotionally invested, please. This one is a thriller based on Cape Cod, and it's got a cult vibe, it's got some secrets, and it's got murder on the beach with a little bit of magic tossed in there. This book is creepy, it's twisty. I was able to truly picture myself as part of this story, and man, that gave me the creeps. It was immersive and it was terrifying. The way this book threads everything into reality is so well done. This book makes you think of a world that's like just a twist away. If I am in Cape Cod in this area, I'm not convinced that this doesn't exist. I'm not totally sold that if I end up in the wrong shop, that I might not run into this. I personally have never experienced anything that's made me believe in any of this, but I also don't have any proof that it doesn't exist. And this book makes me question that. The thought in this book of a silly little attempt at a spell that just goes awry, a voice and some music that just seem to be floating on the edge of hearing and on the edge of understanding, and haunting dreams and a hidden cult that may or may not exist and kills people is just a slight twist in the weave of reality, and it might not be as far as I want it to be. Be aware that this one might hit a little too close to home. My favorite read for October was Moth Dark by Kika Hatzpoulou. And let me tell you, I loved this book. I absolutely devoured it. I did not want to put it down. I read it in 2 train rides. Got on the train for New York City, lost in the book on the way there. Got back on that train, nose instantly back in, devouring it on the train ride back. Enjoyed every second of it, especially because it takes place in New York City. So walking around New York with that context and that fear that like a slight trip into the wrong manhole might send me into this universe, absolutely loved it. This one is a fantasy, and it's got LGBTQ representation, it's got a little bit of romance, it's got some enemies, maybe to lovers, maybe not enemies, I'm not totally sure. Seisha is a heartbreaking and relatable character, following her love of the unknown and the forbidden dark world that's taking over New York City. I think the best part about her, though, is her humanity and her love of the creatures that are coming out of this other world. She's unwilling to let go. She's unwilling to void this. And she really is just so invested, even though it's probably not a great idea for her. The side characters I found to be super colorful, very vibrant, great additions to the story. I loved them all, and I loved the layers of complexity that they added. Nagu continually broke me. The ups, the downs, the complexities of that character. I was never sure what was going to happen when they met up with Seisha. And yet I was anxiously awaiting more. I wanted more time with them. I wanted more information on them. I just wanted more. The interactions between this character and everyone else were continually rotating between heartbreaking, beautiful, hopeful, sad. It depended on what was going on and where we are in that story. I absolutely loved solving the mystery and the riddle of what was going on throughout this story, why these characters kept popping up, and where they were coming from. And I love the way that it was resolved and the context that it was resolved in. This book made me feel sad, hopeful, happy, heartbroken, all in equal measure. This was a book of emotions, and it's so beautifully written and well woven together. The world building, the characters, the romance had me trapped. It's such a beautiful fantasy, and I absolutely loved it. You should definitely read this one. My favorite book for November was Yours for the Season by Kate Cochrane. And was this my highest rated book of the month? No, but it was my favorite, and it's the one that stuck with me. This book has hockey, competition, just friends, childhood crushes, it's holiday, it's sapphic romance. It's got all my favorite things. And I absolutely loved it. I love JT's story. I think I'm a little in love with her from listening to this, actually, because her character is just adorable, endearing. It's someone that you want to spend time with. She's just so genuine, she's kind, and she looks out for Allie in all the right ways. Watching her and Allie's relationship grow as the two of them reluctantly admit their feelings, as they spend time together, as they compete together, and as they become more confident as individuals within this small town setting was so cute. They really matched well with each other and looked out for each other in just the sweetest way. The competition piece was lighthearted, it was fun, but it was also competitive. I loved watching the way that it highlighted the interactions with both JT's family and Allie's family, as well as the other people in the town. Not to mention, when you toss Allie's ex into the competition, it makes for a sitcom style competition, and I thought it was incredible. So well done. It had jokes and intensity and lots of love. Absolutely incredible. My favorite quote from this book is JT going, "This does not have good butt feel," which I just think is a hilarious comment to put in a book, because she's sitting on a chair and she's talking about how, like, the chair doesn't feel right on her butt. And I think that just sums up the lightheartedness and the joy of this book so well. It's a great, cute, sapphic romance. And if you're looking for a good holiday read, this one is it. My favorite book for December was The Emerald Cut by Blake Dodge. What a book it was. This is the third book in a trilogy, and it was an incredible wrap up. Espionage is the theme of this series, and oh my god, did this book deliver. Put a bunch of spies, criminal organizations, and government programs into a competition to decide who's taking over the criminal underworld. You're going to have a lot of betrayal and a bunch of secrets. And man, it makes for a great book. The roller coaster that this book took me on, I was not prepared. The hope, the fear, the confusion, the surprise, the happiness, and the bittersweet ending, with the sadness and the heartbreak, I felt it all. I almost didn't know who to cheer for as all the secrets were revealed and all the threads were unraveled, and I discovered who everyone really is. I was emotionally invested in all of the characters from the previous books. And between that love triangles, all of the backstory that you have, the way that it's twisted, I didn't know who to root for in the best possible way. As more information came out, I found myself second guessing everything I thought I knew about all of these characters. I found myself second guessing their relationships, their backstories, and what they were capable of doing. It was an incredible ride. The writing in this series is also amazing. I very reluctantly went to bed in the middle of this book because I had work the next day, and I ran home to finish this series. If you want a masterclass in how to wrap up a trilogy, this book delivers it.